Let's talk today about something that a lot of people think is going to solve everything, the 2024 presidential election. We're seeing President Trump about every, 6 to 8 weeks getting charged with another crime in another area, right? Why are they doing that? Well, we don't know, right? We just know they don't want him as president. The question is, what are we going to do if they cancel the 2024 election? Could that happen? We'll talk about that here in this video a little bit. Are y'all believing what you're seeing with Trump? They want this man in jail so badly that they're just throwing charges at him left and right. A lot of people need to understand the reason, like he may get, let's say, 20 indictments, right, in one area, in one state, I should say. They're just hoping that one of them sticks. You know, they know they pretty much not going to get all 20 of them to stick. Well, let's say he goes to court, he gets found guilty, and he gets prison time. What's going to happen then? He's supposed to have a Secret Service with him for the rest of his life, right? I guarantee you they'll write some new law or something that says if that happens, they lose their Secret Service protection for the rest of their life. Guys, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I haven't. A lot of people that watch this video is older than me. Have you ever seen anything like this in your life? As hard as they're going after someone? What if he gets arrested and he wins the election? What happens then, right? You just can't believe what's going on right now. We've got Biden as our president, which is by far, if you look through the history, he's right up there at the top with some of the worst presidents we've ever had. He is. You know, they keep screaming inflation's down. We know it's not. Inflation is not down. You see it anytime you go buy anything, inflation is up. I mean, who believes the inflation numbers that they're giving? You all the time hear how Biden gets all these jobs made, right? That there's so many jobs available now. What they leave out is these jobs are usually part-time jobs with no benefits. They're not full-time jobs. It's all smoke and mirrors like we always say. Now get back on point here with the election. Could they cancel it? I don't know if they could legally, but we could see a situation by the time the election rolls around that something major has happened and you may be required to stay at home. You know, they want mail-in votes. Remember, that's what they want. They want no ID vote. You don't have to show your ID to vote. You know, something could happen. Something major could happen. I'm not saying it's a nuclear war or anything like that, but something could roll around to make you not be able to get out and vote. That way everybody has to mail-in vote, right? And we know what will happen if it's a mail-in vote. We saw that in 2020. We saw exactly what happened. You go to bed, somebody's way ahead. You wake up, and miraculously, all these votes come in. Another issue with our elections is the way they are. It takes some states forever to get their votes counted. Forever. Weeks. Weeks. That shouldn't be the way it is. You should have your votes counted. What do y'all think? Within 24 hours of the polls closing, you should be able to have all your votes counted? You know, instead of sitting there and waiting on, well, we're waiting on another. No. At the end of the election, count your votes. And why is so many people against voter ID? You have to show your ID for so much stuff now, it's ridiculous, but you don't have to show it to vote. That's what I don't understand. People are okay where if you buy cigarettes or beer, you need to show your ID, right? But when it comes to, you know, voting someone in office that can change our whole world like what happened in 2020, no, you shouldn't have to show an ID. This is the type of people we deal with in America. They're all for ID for anything else, but they're not for ID and to vote. And why is that? Because they can get more votes. Guys, it wouldn't surprise me if they did cancel the election. It would not surprise me at all. I don't know legally how that could happen. I've read up on it. I don't think they could do it, but they could make it very, very hard for us to go vote. I've told you before, in actuality, I don't believe our vote matters. You know, maybe in local government, your little town or something, that you know, it'll count. But in a big scheme, big presidential elections, I don't know, but it's still your duty to get out and vote. I do recommend voting. I'm not telling you not to go vote, but you also, most people are probably like me, well, it don't really matter. You know, they're going to put whoever they want in there, right? Which is what we see. Every time they arrest Trump, his popularity goes up. Have y'all noticed that? And Biden, he's got a low popularity. How do they think, if he wins again, let me ask you this. If Biden wins the presidential election again with where his popularity is, right? How is that possible? Seriously, how is it possible? Look who's going to be running against him. They're not really anybody worth a crap running against them, right? I mean, you got Kennedy. He's just going by his name. That's what's helping him's his name, right? Kennedy. That's the only reason that he probably could get some votes. But as far as Biden takes this again, something's up with this, guys, because there's no way you can, run below 50% popularity, way below, and carry an election. It's just not possible. Now, is it possible if certain people that are not legal to vote? Yeah, that's possible. That can get you on up there, right? If you got a couple million illegal immigrants in here, but they're able to vote, that might help you out on your side a little bit, right? If they're voting for you. Because we all know that in the middle of the night, votes can just show up. I told you the story of what happened in the 2020 election. My cousin, his dad died in January. Yeah, January. It was right before the pandemic happened. Couple in that summer, close to that summer, he got this big old packet about that thick. It was for his dad to fill out and vote, to send in his vote. And my cousin looked at me and said, I could fill this out, sign his name, and vote for whoever I wanted to, couldn't I? I said, yeah. He said, this is what's wrong with our country. Of course, he destroyed it, threw it away, burned it, and all that. But that right there, when Biden won the election in 20, I'm like, I'm starting to see this. Until you see stuff with your own eyes, you're just hearing me talk, right? You're like, well, you're saying that, but I've never seen it happen. I seen it with my own eyes. This man had been dead for 6 months. And still, now they had stopped his Social Security checks. They cut that, it stopped his Medicare, everything shut off, right? But somehow he still got a packet to vote. That's the problem here. That's why we should have to show ID to vote. If they're going to do mail-in votes, that's I don't. How can you ID a mail-in vote? Some people say, well, you'd have to send in a copy of your driver's license. They can fake that stuff too, right? So, could the election be canceled in 2024? I don't legally see how they could, but I wouldn't put it past them to make it as hard as possible to go vote. And another question we got to ask ourselves, what if Trump wins and he's been convicted, right? This is some crazy times, isn't it? Crazy times. I personally don't think Trump's going to win. I don't want to, make you mad when I say that. But after what happened in 2020, I think he's going to have a really hard time carrying a vote when it comes down to the vote counts, right? I don't know if they'll let him back in there. And another thing, if he gets back in there, it's not going to fix everything that's going on overnight. It's not. It's not going to fix it. We're falling. America is falling, and a lot of people don't see it because they're still able to go get a hamburger. They're still able to go down here and get whatever they want to do, right? They're still able to do that. What they're not seeing is how much more this stuff is costing, and the price of stuff going up is not equal to your pay raises no more. We're in the tail end of America. We really are. Let's just wait and see what happens in 2024. See if the election, if we have it, or if Trump wins. It's going to be some strange times for sure. It's going to get wild. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get even worse between now and then. You got to understand that between now and the day of the election, it's going to get even crazier than what we're seeing now. Crazier. I wouldn't be surprised if they do not push all these Donald Trump trials to either right before the election or right after the election. Because you always can get a continuance and all this and that. We hear the dates, it's going to be in August. Don't believe that crap because they always do continuances in courts. And remember, when you see Trump getting all these charges thrown at him in a state, they're throwing all of them at him, hoping just one will stick. That's why they charge you. They do it to everybody, whoever gets in trouble. They're going to hit you with all kind of stuff. Like if you get caught with some weed, they're going to hit you for the bag it was in. They're going to hit you for, if you had tweezers in your car, so on and so forth, rolling papers, they're just going to add the charges up on you and hoping one of them sticks, right? the same thing they're doing to Trump. Let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to see an election in 2024? Do you think Trump is going to win? Or do you think we're going to have another Biden for 4 years? Let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. If you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, be sure you hit the thumbs down on the way out the door. Stay safe. Keep prepping.